She's 17, ranked 17th in the world, and now she's a full-fledged member of the LPGA. Canadian teen Brooke Henderson was granted membership 2 days after winning her first LPGA event in Portland. That means she no longer has to play in the Monday qualifiers. Brooke becomes one of only a handful of players granted tour membership before their 18th birthday. We caught up with Brooke in Vancouver yesterday. Congratulations on being a card-carrying member of the LPGA at the tender age of 17 years and 11 months.
I know it's such an amazing feeling, and two dreams of mine have come true in the last 3 days. Winning on Sunday and then being granted my membership to be a full-time LPGA Tour member is pretty amazing.
Okay, speaking of amazing, let's talk about winning the Cambria Portland Classic by 8 strokes, Brooke. You had knocked at the door a couple of times with some amazing finishes. What did it feel like to actually break through and win so convincingly?
Starting the day at 5-stroke lead, I didn't think it was going to be enough, so I was pushing to try and get more birdies and trying to extend my lead, which I was able to do. I got it to 9 shots at one point and then fell back and got an 8-stroke victory. And I think I learned a lot being able to compete against the best in the world early in the year in San Francisco and Texas in particular, where I had chances to win and was really close to the lead, and then I sort of let it slip away. And this time I wasn't going to let it slip away, and I was going to push really hard to get the win, and I was able to do it.
Were you able to get all that champagne out of your clothes and hair after that huge shower?
Yeah, not quite yet. And the whole way home, because we drove from Portland all the way up to Vancouver that night, I smelled like champagne for a long time, but it was definitely worth it.
We talked to Jeff Thompson, the Chief Sport Officer at Golf Canada, and he talked about you, Brooke, as a kid, and he said he thinks you were 7 years old, and he remembers you tagging along to an amateur golf event with your sister Brittany, your parents, and you banging balls on the driving range. Do you remember those days?
Yeah, for sure I do, and those were the days where I started and loved the game and wanted to pursue it as a career. And every weekend I'd be out watching my older sister play tournaments, and I'd be walking alongside with my dad, and we'd be in the bush and she'd be in the fairway. She'd be swinging a club and I'd find a stick or an umbrella or something so I could swing too, and I wanted to be just like her. And it turns out she's a professional golfer now, and so am I, and we're both trying to play on the LPGA Tour and trying to be the best that we can be.
Hard work pays off, doesn't it?
It does. It has been a lot of hard work, but I've also been extremely blessed and very grateful for all the opportunities that I've been given and the support system around me, with not only my parents and my sister, but all of my family and friends from back home, and IMG, who I've been working with for almost a year now. It's pretty unbelievable. And now all of this attention with Vancouver, where you are, and the Vancouver Golf Club, where you will play the Canadian Pacific Women's Open starting on Thursday. What do you anticipate from a hometown crowd? Because that's going to be different than Portland. Yeah, for sure it is. This was my first LPGA Tour event that I played in 3 years ago as a 14-year-old. And I was a pretty shy and nervous 14-year-old, but it's a little bit different story now that I'm 17 and coming off of my first victory on the LPGA Tour. And I had a lot of fans back then, so I'm hoping I'll have an even bigger crowd this year, and being able to play for Canada and represent my country is always an honor. So speaking of representing your country, are there thoughts of Rio 2016 in your head, Brooke? Oh, definitely, and it has been for a few years now, and I've been trying to move up the rankings, and this year I've succeeded in doing that, from going way over 200 in the world rankings to now I believe I'm 17th or 18th ranked in the world, which is really cool, and it gets me closer to my dream of playing in the Olympics and chasing gold down for Canada. We'll be cheering for you, Brooke. Best of luck. Thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you.